All right, guys, so what we're gonna go to in this video is how to spend the client's insurance. Now, when you guys are gonna use this, this method would be when you're primarily sitting with the policyholder. It is good to have in your back pocket to occasionally have to use with other clients who don't yet have a policy with us, but this would be a point in the presentation when we've gone through with a policyholder, right? We've met them, we've gone through their no-cost benefits again, we've gotten through the life insurance video, whether you play it or not. After you do the life insurance video with the policyholder, we always do the graph like you saw in previous video, all right? And then after you do the graph, before you do the needs analysis, what is very helpful with a lot of policyholders is to show them how their policy works and show them on paper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reference the example that we have in your workbook, so follow along. The numbers that I'm going through are simply from the workbook. All right, now, what we're gonna do, guys, all right, is we're gonna go through the graph, then we're gonna go through this pie chart with them. And I'm gonna role play with you guys here. So Joe, Mary, all right, now that you guys have a quick recap with that whole life and term graph on how insurance works, let's kind of look at what you guys have. So looking at your policy here, all right, you guys got set up with some pretty good coverage. Mary, you're 35, Joe, you're 31. Okay, so really when you guys think about it, there's 4 different needs that we see with most families, all right? The first need would be final expense protection. All right, now Joe, Mary, guys, remember the average cost of a funeral today is about $15,000, right? Absolutely. Now, you guys got set up with $30,000. Do you guys remember why you got set up with $30,000? Perfect. It's because inflation for down the road, they estimate every 20, 30 years, a funeral is going to double pretty much like everything else. So you guys got set up with a pretty good start. However, in 20 to 30 years from now, you guys are going to be 55, 65. Do you guys plan on dying then? No. So someone your age, between 31 to 35, is realistically going to need $60,000 of coverage. So what we're going to do, Joe and Mary, is going to draw that $60,000 for you guys. Now, right now, you guys have $30,000. So I'm going to shade in what you guys have. That's got half protected. But as you guys can see, there is a gap that does need to be filled for you guys. All right. And I know if you're anything like me, you don't want to pay for something more than you'd have to. All right. So what we'll do, guys, is we'll set you up with that today so that we can make sure we can lock in your age and your health. Next thing that we're going to be looking at with most families is the need for income protection. Now, obviously, your income is the heartbeat of the family. If it stops, Joe, Mary, that's a huge loss of income. That's going to put a huge burden on your family. Now, let's take a look at your specific salary. So, Mary, you said you make about $50,000 a year, and Joe, you make about $30,000, right? Excellent. So I'm going to split this in half for you guys. Mary, you're going to be over here with $50,000. Joe, you're going to be down here $30,000 a year. Now, the bare minimum we like to protect families with would be 5 years of your income. So, Joe, if Mary died tomorrow, it realistically would take your family about 5 years to get adjusted properly to make sure your family's lifestyle won't have to change. 5 years of Mary's income is $250,000. 5 years of your income, Joe, is $150,000. So based on what you guys have with our company, you guys got started with, let's see, Mary, you got started with $150,000. Now, do you have any insurance through work? You have $20,000, okay. And then you said you also have $100,000 through another company, right? Excellent. So Mary, you have $150,000 with us, $100,000 through another company, $250,000 plus another $20,000 through your job. So you have $270,000. So great news, Mary. Looks like you guys are 100% protected right here with that 5 years. Joe, you also have $70,000 with us of the income protection, the 10-year term. Looks like you said the same $100,000 through the company like Mary. All right. So that's $170,000, and you also have $20,000 through your job. So Joe, you have $190,000 total. Great news. Looks like you guys are 100% protected here as well. Really, really glad that you guys did that for your family. So the next thing that we would be looking at would be a mortgage protection. Obviously, you guys have this beautiful home. God forbid something were to happen to you tomorrow, want to make sure that home is protected. Same thing, we're going to split this down the middle. God forbid something happens, you said your house is $250. So that would mean to protect you guys effectively, sufficient coverage, you each would need $250. So if Mary, you die, Joe gets $250, the mortgage is taken care of. Joe, if you die, Mary gets $250. All right. Now, if we can't meet that full $250, it's always smart to also have half each. Does that make sense? So you guys could take care of half of your coverage, half of your coverage will take care of half of the payment as if they were here paying their half. So, Mary, you have $20,000 left over from your coverage here. Joe, you have $40,000 from your coverage left over here. So that was a big concern that I saw along with the final expenses, where you guys do have a big gap here in coverage for your mortgage. We'll also make sure we take care of that for you guys today. The last thing that we're going to be looking at would be college education. Now, you guys have 3 kids, right? Perfect. So they recommend $100,000 to protect each one of your kids' college educations. Now, just like mortgage and income, we're going to split this as well. So God forbid Mary dies. Mary, you want to have $300,000 paying out to Joe. Kids' college education is protected as if you were here. Same thing, Joe, you die, $300,000 paying out, all right, as if you were here. Now, it looks like with our company, you guys have $200,000 of accidental. A lot of families like to use accidental to protect their college education, okay? So Joe and Mary, you guys have about 2/3 of that protected for each of you guys. But once again, you guys have a pretty good start, but there is this big gap that does need to be taken care of between the both of you as well. All right, so here you guys can clearly see the gaps that you guys have in your coverage. Remember, not everybody who gets life insurance, and honestly, hardly anybody who gets life insurance to begin with our company, Joe and Mary, ever gets what they need. So don't feel bad. You guys did do a great job by getting something the first time someone was around, but we want to make sure that we can take care of all of this for you guys today. Because just like if you were to go to the mechanic and the mechanic said, Joe, Mary, you guys have a nail in each one of your tires. All 4 of your tires has a nail, right? You guys wouldn't just take care of 1 tire, right? You wouldn't take care of 2 or 3, you take care of all 4. Now, in the moment, it might be a little bit more money to repair all 4 of those tires, right, guys? But long term, you're actually protecting your family. You're making sure that you're saving money down the road, so God forbid a disaster happens, you guys are protected properly with that car, just like you're protected properly here with your insurance for your family. All right, so what we'll do is we'll run through our needs analysis, we'll punch in the information that you have, and then we'll make sure that we can show you a program that's affordable for both of you guys.